Hello everybody, it's Kylie at the Cherry Valley Public Library. I'm coming to you in video today because I wanted to have a little book chat about our book group picks for the month of March. So I'm going to go through in the order that the meetings are happening in March, give you a little bit of a synopsis about the book, kind of detail the mood and tone of the book. I know some of us like to read based on that, and just give you some general information to see if you'd like to pick up one of these books and join our discussions. And then at the very end, I will give you the information of how to do that if you would like to join a book group. So with that, let's jump in to the picks this month. So the first book group that will be meeting in March is Fiction Connection. This is the book group that I run, and the book I chose for March is Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi. I did pick this with Black History Month in mind, as this is a story about two half-sisters, Afia and Essie, who were born in different villages in Ghana. They end up leading very different lives as well. Afia marries an Englishman and ends up living in a castle, and unbeknownst to her, her sister Essie is unfortunately sold into slavery and is actually in her sister's castle's dungeon. So with that, it sets up these very different lives for these two women, and Afia stays in Ghana, and it follows her story and her lineage through the continued wars in Ghana with the tribes constantly fighting the slave trade and the British colonies. And then we also follow Essie and her family's lineage through America. So we start with slavery, it goes through the Civil War and Great Migration, working in coal towns up to Harlem, and then up to present day. So it's a sweeping tale of like 300 years of history between this family and the two very different lineages that ended up stemming from it. Both very harrowing existences solely due to slavery, and I think it's a very important read. And I'd also like to read a part of the synopsis too, because I can't say it as well as they did. So with that, generation after generation, Yaa Gyasi's magisterial first novel sets the fate of the individual against the obliterating movements of time, delivering unforgettable characters whose lives were shaped by historical forces beyond their control. Homegoing is a tremendous reading experience, not to be missed by an astonishingly gifted young writer. So, if you like the sound of this book, we will be meeting to discuss Homegoing on Friday, March 5th at 10:30 in the morning, and all of this will be virtual on Zoom. I didn't mention that at the beginning. So we will meet on Zoom Friday the 5th at 10:30. All right, the next book group discussion we will have in March is our Grounds for Murder group. It's a mystery novel group, and their book for March is Burning Bright by Petrie. This is kind of in the vein of Jack Reacher and Jason Bourne. So if you like more of those like spy thriller, action-heavy mysteries, this is a great pick for you. The leading man is Peter Ash. He's a war veteran. He struggles with PTSD, specifically claustrophobia, and the novel opens with him trying to kind of get some peace and escape from that in the Redwood Forest in Northern California. It didn't go as planned. He gets into a tussle with a grizzly bear and then climbs a tree where he finds a woman on the run and suddenly hears men shouting and gunshots, and right from the start they are on the run from her pursuers. This damsel in distress, who I love, is not truly a damsel in distress. She is very independent and strong, and she's actually the one helping Peter to kind of like heal and cope with some of his PTSD. So really they're saving each other. Which I think is very special. Her mother had just died. She was a famous or genius programmer, and after her mother's death, these men have come for June, attempting to kidnap and potentially kill her. So she needs the help of somebody like Peter to solve this mystery and save her life. I love this bit at the synopsis. Only one step ahead of their pursuers, Peter and June must race to unravel this peculiar mystery. What they find leads them to an eccentric recluse, a shadowy pseudo-military organization, and an extraordinary tool that may change the modern world forever. So I would say, again, great option if you really like those like action and spy, thriller heavy types of mystery novels. This one really calls to me because Jason Bourne is my favorite action series ever. In reading some of the reviews of this too, there are some really great strengths in the characters, which can be sometimes hard in mysteries, especially these spy ones, but not at all flat, especially with the supporting characters with June, very full-fleshed, and Peter really comes to life in this novel as well. So if you would like to check out Burning Bright and discuss this with us, Grounds for Murder will be meeting on Thursday, March 11th at 6 p.m. The final book group that will be meeting in March is our Young at Heart group. This is for adults who love to indulge in the young adult novels. Their March pick is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I'm going to start with this has my favorite trope, probably especially for young adult books, which is a mysterious, dark, private school. This is a thriller set in modern times, but there's a dark history that you need to know about first. So this school is Ellingham Academy, and it was founded by a early 20th century tycoon, Albert Ellingham. And he had this great idea of making a school that was a bit mysterious. So he liked the idea of riddles and gardens and like mazes with these turning, twisting paths. And he wanted, quote, learning to be a game. The game, however, turned on him when the school opened in 1936, and his wife and daughter were kidnapped and eventually murdered. The only thing left behind was a note talking about different modes of murder, signed Truly Devious. So then we jump ahead to present day. True crime aficionado Stevie Bell is about to start her first year at Ellingham Academy, and she has this great idea. She's going to solve this cold case. However, of course, with that we get the usual, has to adjust to this new school life. She has to deal with her housemates. She has to deal with this school. And then on top of that, Truly Devious returns and murder returns to Ellingham Academy. I'm super excited about this book. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to jump in on this because this sounds like such a fun ride, some really great tropes that I just adore. And who doesn't love a good mystery thriller? I want to read the poem to you quick as well. So if you want to skip this, I understand, but I think this is kind of fun. So, look a riddle, time for fun. Should we use a rope or gun? Knives are sharp and gleam so pretty. Poison slow, which is a pity. Fire is festive, drowning slow. Hanging's a ropey way to go. A broken head, a nasty fall, a car colliding with a wall. Bombs make a very jolly noise, such ways to punish naughty boys. What shall we use? We can't decide, just like you cannot run or hide. Ha ha, Truly Devious. So, if that sounds like a hoot to you, like it does to me, Young at Heart will be meeting Thursday, March 18th at 6 p.m., once again on Zoom. Now that we've seen all 3 books for the month of March, let's quickly talk about how you can join us for the book group discussions. It's pretty simple. You just need to register. There's 2 ways you can do that. You can go online to our event calendar through our website and just register yourself right there. Or you can also give us a call and we will gladly help put you on the registration list. Once you do that, that makes the copies that we have in the library available to you to check out. Or of course, we also have access to the digital copies through Libby most of the time, so check there as well. Or of course, have your own copy. That's always great, but if you do choose to do that, just make sure you still do register. That way you get the Zoom meeting link sent to you, and you don't miss out on the book group discussion. If you're like me, I'm sure you're wondering, how could I ever pick just one? How am I going to balance being in all 3 of these book groups? Because all of these books sound awesome. I know it's a tough choice. You're welcome to join all of them if you have the time to do that, or just join one for the one that you think really calls out to you and your reading preferences. But thank you so much for joining me for this video to hear about our books, and I hope to see some of you in our book group discussions in March. Have a great day.